Welcome to the Passion and Persistence podcast. I'm your host, Elaina Mitchell, and today we have a very special guest with a very compelling story about their passion and persistence. But first, I want to remind you to subscribe to this podcast for inspiration, motivation, and business tips and tricks. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the Passion and Persistence podcast, where we truly believe that when you find your passion and chase it persistently, that is when you find true happiness and success in life. Today, I am so excited to introduce you to Daniel Alonzo, somebody who has inspired me immensely. He actually saved his first $1 million by the age of 28, and he coaches and inspires young entrepreneurs all over the world. So, hi, Daniel.
Hello, Elaina. I'm so happy to be here. So excited. Me and you've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm fired up right now.
Me too. Me too. So tell us a little bit, for those people that might not have heard of you or followed you yet, tell us a little bit about you and your mission.
So my name is Daniel Alonzo. I've been in business for over 20 years now. I actually started a financial services company and started recruiting and training people. And next thing you know, after a couple of years, I was making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so, but the cool thing about it was, because I was in financial services, I started learning and understanding how money worked. And as I figured it out, I started applying those principles. And of course, as you said, I saved my first $1 million by age 28. So I've been semi-retired. I'm 44 today, and I've been semi-retired since I was 28 years old. Life is great.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing and so inspiring. It makes me want to try so hard to catch up. So hard to do, though, in today's world. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about passion. What is passion to you?
So passion to me is finding that one thing that you want to make your life, you want to do for the rest of your life. I mean, I used to always tell people that if you find something that you're willing to do for free, then that's probably your passion. If you're willing to do it for free, if you're willing to do it for fun, that's a passion. You see these guys on the weekends, they play basketball all day long. I'm not necessarily saying that that's the best usage of time, but obviously that's their passion because they do it for free, And same thing with me. I mean, I speak all over the world. I've spoke all over the United States and Canada, and I've done it for free for so many years. I mean, I do podcasts all over the place. I give interviews. I teach people. I train people. I answer my DMs. I coach people for free. I mean, I've been doing this for years, Elaina. So obviously that's my passion. Obviously it's something I love to do.
Definitely. So is this something that you always knew that you were passionate about, or how did you find this passion inside?
So from an early age, I think I just had this will to want to win. I wanted to make money. I wanted to become financially independent. I grew up in a not so good neighborhood. First 10 years of my life, my parents got divorced. I had two dads. I had my stepfather and my real dad. My real dad, he was barely there, and he'd tell me he'd pick me up on the weekend. He would never show up, and it was tough. It was I saw a lot of things, growing up in that neighborhood. Those first years of my life, I saw a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have. The alcohol, the fighting, just the bad people in the neighborhood, the poverty, the lack of abundance mentality. And so I think for me, it was a pursuit. I was a hoodlum. I was a bad boy. Okay. So I grew up, always trying to press the limits, and me and the teachers that, I remember one time one teacher heard another teacher yelling at me across the entire school. So I used to get in trouble. I used to get a lot of fights growing up. And but anyways, I was a bad kid, and we would walk the streets at night. And one night we were opening up cars, trying to we would steal change in the ashtray, or we would take sunglasses, or we would find whatever we could find in these open cars. at night, and it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning, and I found this boombox radio, and I was like, I'm excited, right? I mean, I'm 14 years old. I mean, that'll date me a little bit. It was one of those big boombox radios with the tape cassettes in there, and so I grabbed it and I ran, and then I opened up, when we got back to the house, I opened up the tape cassette, and it was a tape from Jack Canfield. It was called Self-Esteem and Peak Performance. The guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Oh, yes.
So that this was one of his first ever tapes, and it was probably produced in the 70s. And I had, this tape was in this. And so this guy, I think it was a homeless guy living out of his van. I mean, just thinking back, I mean, I just remember there was a van that I took the radio from, and I swear to this day, I think somebody was sleeping in the van. But bottom line, this tape changed my life.
Wow.
Because I learned how to ask for what I wanted. So that's what it taught me. It taught me that the universe rewards consistent, bold action. Now, I didn't change my life in one day. I had listened to that tape so many times. And by the way, just so you know, I still have the tape.
Wow.
And I still have the radio to this day. This is, I don't know, 30 something years later, I still have the tape, still have the radio. And it changed my life, because at 21, when I got in business and they started talking to me about how I could change my life and how I could make a lot of money and how I can become financially independent, like, I actually believed them. I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this for like 7 years. I've been waiting for you to come and talk to me, and all of a sudden it started to come true. So I got off to a fast start. I knew more than most people. I asked everybody I knew for help. And so many people came through for me, and they helped me, and it helped me grow my business so much faster. So that's where the passion started to happen at 14. But man, when I turned 21, I turned it on.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. And I think that is where I actually really connected with you when I heard your story about growing up with the rough past and being a hoodlum. I grew up in that same mentality, the same type of neighborhoods, doing the same type of horrible things as a kid. And we learn from those experiences, but I feel like going through all of that really does put fire inside of you to want more, that hunger to make your life better. So that really inspired me. And I heard you on your Instagram once talking about asking for what you need in life. And that too really struck a chord with me, because it took me so long to really have the nerve to ask for what I wanted. And I connected with you on that level, because it literally, that's where my life started to change, to ask people for advice, ask people for what you need. And so bravo to you on that, and for spreading that message to people. I absolutely love it. So when you did start to develop your passion and find that path, what road bumps did you encounter along the way?
Well, I mean, I was 21. I mean, it was like so many people didn't want to take me seriously. I was in an industry where most of the people that I was talking to, they were 30 years old, they were 35, they were 40, they were sometimes 50 years old plus. And so they would look at me, and I was 21, I looked 16. So they looked at me like, what does this little kid know about money? And I was talking about investments and insurances and all these different financial services. And they're looking at me, and I think a lot of them in the beginning, they just felt bad for me. They just felt sorry for me. So they wanted to help me. So I started to figure that out. I mean, so that was kind of my early roadblock, is a lot of people were telling me no, a lot of people. But then I started to figure out, if I just asked people for help, they would help me, like not come from a place where, oh, I'm rich, I have all this knowledge, I'm so smart. I started to ask people, hey, look, I was wondering if you could help me with an hour of your life. And they're like, well, we don't need nothing. We're good. We're taken care of. And I said, oh, no. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you got everything set up. Matter of fact, that's going to help me more, because I'm going to be able to look at what you got and be able to try to, understand how different programs work, which will help me in my journey. Would you be willing to give me a half an hour of your life? And they go, okay, come on. They felt sorry for me, just a little kid. Yeah, come on over. And then I would get there and I knew my shit, Elaina. Like I studied and I practiced and I read books, and man, I would show up and I would know everything that they had. And I knew why they had it. And I knew all the programs and how they work. And 9 times out of 10, eight times out of 10, I was able to switch their program over to my program. And I became an effective closer, and I learned how to ask questions. And and again, I remember calling other companies and pretending I wanted their service,
Right.
just so I could learn, right, how they sold their products. So that way, when I was with their clients, I would know kind of the ins and outs of how their products worked, and it just gave me so much insight. So that's how dedicated I was, Elaina. I mean, I didn't take this thing lightly. Like a lot of people, they go into business and they treat it like a little spare time opportunity,
Yeah.
And for me, I always looked at this thing as I had just invested $100,000 and I had to go get my $100,000 back. Okay. I treated it really, really seriously. And so therefore, I think that I got in my 10,000 hours a lot faster than most people that take it lightly.
That's an awesome mindset to have. And that actually inspires me so much, because I'm not that great at selling my services. I love what I do. I know that I'm passionate about it, but the sales part has always tripped me up. So investing your time for that lump sum of money in your mind is very smart. And I'm definitely going to take up that mindset. And that brings me to the point of, perspective is so important, and the mindset that you have going into any venture with any passion that you have. It's extremely important. So with that being said, you said that you were around 15, 16, out in the streets. If you could rewind time and give the 15-year-old you some advice, what would it be?
I think I would just tell myself to stop worrying so much about what people thought of me, because that's why I was like I played sports, but I think I could have been in like ASB, or I think I could have been in journalism, or I think I could have been maybe even in drama or something like that. I mean, because I was, and just so you know, a little side note, I was in the movie Pretty Woman.
Wow.
I was an extra in Pretty Woman, the movie. So,
That's awesome.
and I did a bunch of little, extra work on different shows. You probably don't know this. I know you're pretty young, but you probably don't remember Charles in Charge. But there was a
I
show
do,
called
yes.
Charles.
I'm older than I probably look.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. All right. So anyways, Charles in Charge and Quantum Leap, and I was all kinds of different shows. Did a few commercials and things like that. But bottom line is that I think because I was, that was part of my passion. Like that was a direction that I wanted to go into, but I was so cool. I was so cool with my friends, and I didn't get in drama. I didn't get a part of the leadership in the school. I mean, I had a lot of friends, but close friends, but I didn't reach out further to make more friends, to gain more allies in life, and I feel like I kind of blew it, and so if I would go back, I'd be like, look, dude, go have more fun, go to all the football games, go to all the dances, try to, be on the leadership, something that has to do with leadership in the school, go into drama, go into speech class, the speech classes, go learn those type of things. So that way, man, as soon as you get out, you'll have a head start on everybody else, not to mention self-improvement. I wish I would have read more books. I mean, really, the only book I ever finished, the real book that I ever finished, it was my senior year, and it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay, seriously, that's how, I'm not a smart person. I'm seriously, I'm not a intellectual person. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you think your IQ is? I said, it's probably real low. I probably have a very low IQ, but I said I have a really high results factor. And so I get a lot of results, but I'm not the smartest guy. I'm a slow reader. I'm a slow learner. It takes me a while to, if you tell me a joke, sometimes I'll get it right away. Sometimes I'll be like, what the hell? What did you mean by that? And that's just me, and so I think that, like, I wish I would have self-improved more as a kid. I wish I would have taken the classes a little bit more seriously. Not that the grades matter, but just the overall learning new things and being more educated about certain things. And so that would be the advice that I would give myself.
Wow, I absolutely love that. And again, I can relate so much. I'm sure a lot of people that are going to listen to this can relate as well. But everybody has that fear of being judged and trying to look cool, especially in the younger ages. We all want to impress people, and I think that's so silly. I wish we could all rewind for a little bit and go back.
No, it's mind-boggling, Elaina. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I drop my kids off to school, and I see it's very saddening to me, because teenagers especially, there's this sadness, there's this scared look on their face. I'm a people watcher. I love to watch people, and I love to watch it. I almost feel it's a kind of a weird thing. Like, I can almost read people and almost know what they're thinking.
Same. You're an empath.
Yeah. It's really weird. No, it's like I can like dive into somebody's soul. It's like crazy stuff, But anyways, bottom line is I look at these kids and I go, man, they're so worried. They're so nervous. They're so scared inside. And I wish I could just take them and, and just say, just shake them a little bit and say, it's okay. Most of these people you won't know 20 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, the shit that you're worried about right now, it ain't gonna matter 20 years from now. You won't know most of these people. They won't care what you look like. They don't care, just, focus on building a great life. So that, and look, this is another little thing that I like to tell young people is, look, go get financially independent early.
Yes.
So that way you're free. That way, by the time you're 30, you're free. You're done. You can do whatever you want to do. You can wake up when you want to wake up. You can, play golf. I'm going to play golf right now when I'm done with, you know what I mean? And like, you can go do the things that you want to do whenever you want to do them, and just live a life of freedom and choices and options. And it just really, it's determined though by you not worrying. Like, if your parents tell you got to go to college, but you don't like school and you don't want to go to college, then don't go to college.
Right.
Don't worry about the perception of what people are how they're going to judge you or perceive you and think about you because, oh, you're not a college graduate. Don't think about stuff like that. Be authentic to yourself. If you want to be an artist, go be an artist. If you want to be in sales and build a business, go build a dang business. Do what you want to do, because ultimately it's your life, man. And the only person that really matters, what you think about or that anybody thinks about is yourself, right?
Exactly.
I mean, hopefully yourself feels good about yourself. And so.
Yeah, and I truly believe that we all have an intuition of the path we're supposed to take, and no one else is going to understand that. No one else feels what we feel inside. So, I grew up people telling me all the time that I shouldn't do so many different things, but everything that I did or experienced had to do with art and design in different little ways. So my whole life people said, you shouldn't do this, that, and that. And I'm like, no, I want to do it. And that's how we find our passion, through experiences. So definitely, I agree 1,000%. And I think so many people are going to get so much value from this. So I want to thank you so much, Daniel, for coming on and joining us today on the Passion and Persistence podcast. It has been such a pleasure to talk with you. And I can't wait to see more from you and follow your journey on Instagram. So go ahead and let people know how they can follow you.
So you can get me on @Daniel Alonzo. and it's with a Z-O at the end. And I'm drinking a coconut, so they can't miss me on Instagram, okay? So Daniel Alonzo, and then also, look, I have a YouTube channel, lots of free content on my YouTube channel. Also, check me out on alonzoacademy.com. And that is where you can read my story. You can learn more about me. I also have a coaching program. It's called Wealth on the Beach Club. And I have a coaching program that it's open to anybody. I mean, I have a lot of, mainly financial services people that are involved in it, but anyone that's in business that wants to grow, that wants to learn leadership, communication skills. I also teach money skills there as well. And of course, they can reach out to me, anytime through email, and of course, DMing me on Instagram. But I am a financial coach. At the end of the day, I teach people how to become debt-free and financially independent, okay? So that they can get more freedom and choices and live on their terms. I mean, that's my goal, is to spread that message, to teach that to everybody I come in contact with. Elaina, this is a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of this with you. I'm so excited. You are such a dynamic, motivating, inspiring woman. And I know that amazing things are coming for you and your future. And I am so proud of you and so excited about what you're doing. So keep doing it. Keep inspiring the world. We believe in you so much.
Thank you so much. That means more to me than you know. And I'm so glad that we get to connect through platforms like social media. It's an amazing time in life, and we literally can grab anything at our fingertips in this world today. So thank you so much for connecting with me. Thank you for being here. I hope that we can work together again soon in the future, and maybe I'll have you on to talk more about persistence.
Love it. Anytime. Let me know.
Thank you, Daniel. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Passion and Persistence. I'm your host, Elaina Mitchell, and I'd like to personally invite you to subscribe to this podcast for future inspiration, motivation, and business tips and tricks. Until next time, go out and chase your passion persistently.